60, The Answer.
With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. Once again, we are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And we've got a jam-packed lineup of guests for you today. You can call in live with your questions at 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. Get Down to Business is powered by our good friends at Tandem HR, your solutions center. Check them out online, tandemhr.com, or give them a call at 630-928-0510. 630-928-0510. Thrilled to be joined by Marnie Swedberg, who is really an expert on success principles about maximizing productivity while reducing stress. Certainly very important things that all professionals, all business owners need to know a thing or two about. Marnie, welcome to Get Down to Business.
Hey, great to be here, Shalom. Nice to be here, everybody.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to have you on here in Chicago. Marnie, this is an important topic. Productivity, time management is something that many of our listeners call in and struggle with. And I'm wondering, I know you've written a lot on the subject. Is there one tip that you think, that you learned, that you think sort of has changed how you work productively, and that you would want our listeners to take back with them to the workplace this week?
Yeah, I think I'd like to share the prioritization calculator because it's just 3 words, and it really helps you to put things into perspective when you have many different things that are important, but you don't know exactly which way to shoot your energy and your resources.
Absolutely. Well, I know our listeners would love to hear, and I know you've managed to share these tips with one of your topics have been the kitchen shortcuts, how to save time and money in minutes that you have. But let's talk about those productivity tips. What have you learned? What can you share with our listeners?
Okay, so let's give you the prioritization calculator. So there's just 3 words. So the first word is results. So you're going to think about what kind of results you're going to get from whatever it is you're thinking about doing. And then you're going to divide, the results divided by investment is going to equal your priority. So those things that are going to give you the most results for the least investment, that's going to be your priority to do. And you guys can 4-block them, or you can do however, but I've just found this little calculator to be really helpful, something that I can just carry in my head, and instantly I can make a decision between otherwise, pretty much apples to apples, projects that I need to do or things that I need to do next. So results divided by investment equals priority.
That's great. And we've all read those comments online about business development, that often most of the business is coming from a small number of those referral sources. But it sounds like with time management as well, that's an important tip. So, Marnie, once again, we're chatting with Marnie Swedberg. You're the author of 13 books. You manage a family restaurant retail store. You host your own radio show, and you do media and speaking appearances. Are there enough hours in the day? Tell us a little bit about what inspires you and why you do everything that you do.
Oh, Shalom, I like to tell people that we're going to spend about 2.5 hours in a lifetime. You'll spend about 2.5 hours driving a car, about 5 years waiting, about 6 years eating, 23 years in bed, 3.5 years in the bathroom, opening your hard mail, your paper mail, let alone your email and all that kind of stuff. So you've got all kinds of stuff going on in your world, just all of these things that require your time and investment. And, everybody's busy. I always say everybody's busy. But the people who are actually accomplishing things and getting things done have a focused kind of busy instead of just being busy. They're actually saying, where is my time, where are my resources going to be best invested? It goes back to that prioritization calculator. Results divided by investments equal your priority. And so, that I just get up every day and do the day, do what needs to be done during the day, and use that calculation to figure out what that would be.
Marnie, I want to dig a little bit deeper. You do whatever it takes, and that's certainly an important tip that I think a lot of people in this day and age need to appreciate, that motivation piece. But let's go a little bit deeper. It sounds like I hear the passion in your voice. It sounds like you really love what you do, and I can't imagine it would be possible to do all that you do, squeeze all of those many hats that you wear into a 24-hour day if you didn't enjoy it. Again, why do you do what you do? What motivates you? What drives you?
Well, first of all, I believe that each of us is created completely uniquely. Shalom, there's nobody just like you. There's nobody just like me. And every listener, there's nobody just like you. You are completely unique. And so I always say when God strung together your 3 billion base pair of DNA, he did it in a particular way, because there's work for you to do that only you can do the way that you would do it. And so then the question is, what is it that you love to do? What is it that you're designed to do? It'd be like, if you're trying to be a bicycle, but you were built to be, a rocket ship or, a gondola, it's not going to work. You could be adequate at it, but you're never going to be good at it because you're not doing what you were created to do. So I think the first thing is to identify, why are you here? And for me, I am here to mentor millions of women. That's what I do. I just live out loud. I do. I juggle a lot of balls. It's my life. This is the life I have. And I think the reason that I have it is because I really can relate to almost every woman on the planet as far as, we've homeschooled our kids, had these different things going on. And so no matter where she is, I can really relate to some part of her life. And so I believe that for me, it makes perfect sense for me to be doing this and to be doing it in a joyful way that, not too much. From time to time, it's too much. It'd be like any new mom saying, it's too much. I'm not getting sleep at night because of this new baby. Seasons that are too much. But they pass, and then you're back into a more reasonable season.
Well, Marnie, you're a successful business owner, successful coach, a successful professional. I know you have a lot to share with the millions of women that you are influencing, which is great. But I know you've also gone through what I would just summarize and define as tough times. I know that you've had some challenges in your life as well. It's not always been all good and fine. And I know a frequent question that you hear, and we chatted a little bit about, is how do you stay motivated through the tough times? And that's something that business owners often ask me, is that when you lose a customer, when something happens in the business, some people, they get a little bit disenchanted and they just want to throw in the towel. What advice do you have for them?
Well, I do this program, Shalom, called the ABCs of Success. And what I did is I studied people who had reached the top tiers of success, either as Olympians, as presidents and CEOs. And one of the things that comes away is that a person who is really achieving the highest level of success available to them in their sphere and their field is got something they do that's called assess and assign value. That's the A of the ABCs. Assess and assign value. And so we're all just thinking right now, recently here, just the Olympic gymnastics team has been finalized, and Gabby Douglas is an excellent example of this. So in order for her to become an Olympic gymnast, she had to really put up with a lot of pain. She has to, all the time, push herself really hard. She goes through injuries. She pushes through things that the rest of us would just say, forget it, I'm not doing that. But for her, she's assessed that is necessary for her to achieve her goals. And so she's assigned it a different value than maybe you or I would assign that. So she assigned it the value at, I'm going to quote her, the tough days are the best days.
I love
it. The hardest days are the days where champions are made.
Well, Marnie, you're absolutely correct that I think what I've seen from successful professionals is that they learn from those experiences. And I absolutely love the advice that you shared with our listeners about the ABCs, about assessing and assigning value And I think that is the key to success, both on the good days and the bad days. But Marnie, we are running out of time, and I want to make sure our listeners can read a little bit more about you because you truly are an inspiration, and I know you have a lot more to share. You have a lot of information up on your website. Marnie Swedberg, do you mind sharing some contact information and website information with our listeners?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is just at my site. It's my name, Marnie, MARNIE.com, and everything you need is over there.
Marnie.com. And again, you've published many books. You are a successful business professional, and we certainly appreciate your time here on Get Down to Business. We'd love to check back in with you again in a future week. But the ABCs of success, assessing and assigning value, certainly very, very true, very impactful and influential. Thank you, Marnie. After the break, we're going to be chatting with Linda Collins about the North Shore Senior Center and some of the work that they're doing. Fantastic work, might I add. You're listening to the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. Chicago, don't touch that dial. Lots more after the break.